Welcome to the channel. Let's wait till we get some people in here. Seems like we only go live when the good stuff's happening lately. Saturday morning, pouring my coffee out, right? Just another day in the United Fascist States of America. Just another day in this hellhole. Reports are still coming in, so we're going to do this together. I do feel bad that I'm only on here when bad stuff happens. You know what I mean? Why is it saying I have to sign into chat? How's it going, John Doe? How are you, bud? How are you? I guess I'm live. The stream's working. You can hear me. It happened again, right? You guys have seen the video by now, I imagine. I think this echoes my sentiment right here. In politics, this mayor right here. Because let me tell you something. The 7 Democrats that voted to give ICE $75 billion, each one of them needs to lose their job. I don't care what we put in there. We are going through a Tea Party moment in this party. And that is not a time to be faint of heart or to try to lean in to Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, help us. You know what I mean? It's the 7 Democrats giving them the weapons that are killing our own citizens on the street. Oh, but it was all the Republicans. Yeah, Republicans have been bad my entire life. The Republican Party will not save you. All right? But at least the Democratic Party is supposed to be in opposition. Maybe they pass the bill without those 7 Democrats, but maybe they don't. You know what I mean? And now we wake up to this. They're getting us used to this. They're getting us used to this because this is what it's going to look like next year around the election. They want these people in the street causing chaos. And it is true. Whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's your priest, whether it's your rabbi, whether it's your wife, whether it's your husband, the people who are sitting back, whether they're cheering this on or they're pretending it's not happening, are the exact same people in Germany in the 1930s. If you ever wondered who they were, the enablers. How does this happen? How do we get here? You're seeing it. The people that are speaking up are speaking up. This guy was shot because he had a camera. And the mayor here echoes my sentiment.
So to everyone listening, stand with Minneapolis. Stand up for America. Recognize that your children will ask you what side you were on. Your grandchildren will ask you what you did to act to prevent this from happening again.
What did you do?
To make sure that the foundational elements of our democracy were rock solid. What did you do to protect your city? What did you do to protect your nation? This is not what America is about.
This is what America is about. So the only thing I disagree with him on is that point. He says this isn't what America's about. This is what they've been heading to since the Patriot Act, right? Be scared. Put all of it into us. And you know what? This may offend some of you, but thank God. Thank God we didn't allow them to take our guns. And I'm serious, you know, maybe I'm just from an old country boy liberal standpoint. You know, I'm not a limousine. I didn't grow up in Beverly Hills, but thank God we still have them. And we didn't allow them to pry them out of our hands. Because make no mistake about it, this guy had a camera, right? He was shooting with a camera. And you know, the Republicans are going to be out there. You've all seen the video. He's got a camera on him. But the Republicans will be out there, your Don't Step on State, your Gadsden flag, supporting Republicans. They're going to be out here saying he deserved it. Minneapolis is an open carry state, right? You can carry a gun. It's open carry. This is what they fight for. Stand my ground, don't step on snake. They're going to be out here telling you he should have complied. He should have, I don't know what they wanted to do. They just want some guy to comply on the street, a 37-year-old United States citizen who's a nurse, who the most wrong thing he's ever done is have a traffic ticket. What's the most wrong thing a January 6er's ever done? Watch this guy right here. There is no gun. He pulls out his gun, and it is an execution in the street again. The social contract is over, okay? There's no even assumption that there's a social contract anymore. You should not trust these people. You should not give these people any rights. Look at him. Boom, right there, right? Grabs his gun. He's on his back. It's an execution. He's on his hands like this. He shoots him in the back of the head. That's an execution. Saturday morning. You guys know I don't like doing lives. But you turn this on and you see it. And we're all just supposed to go on, right? Monday morning, let's just all go to work. Let's all go to work and pretend this isn't happening in our country. 1938. Everything is fine. Just do what they say. No matter what they say, because this week they said ICE can come into your house without a warrant. They can come in your house. Just do what they say. ICE can strip search your 8-year-old child. Yeah, they said that. These perverts, these January 6ers, they can strip search your own child. That's where you're at. And you're just supposed to go to work on Monday. After watching this video, getting him down on his knees, shooting him in the back of the head. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these pussies to shoot him 9 times? And you're just supposed to, okay, here's my spreadsheet. Profits were good this week. Everything is fine. You know what I mean? The snakes they are. You know who's the snake on their stupid flag that they fly? The flag's actually really cool and it means something that they've perverted. They are the snake, right? They really are. They say don't step on snake. But they don't understand what that means. They don't want you to step on their fascism. That's what they believe it is. The right of, I've said it before. People that were too dumb to even become a cop. You know who that is? That's a very special, and yes, I'm using special in those terms. That's a very special type of person. When you're too dumb to even become a police officer. This is your avenue to have power over life and death, as we're seeing. On his knees, a nurse, 37 years old, with a camera. You know who else has a camera that you guys all love? Well, some of you all love this guy right here, right? Now, yeah, it's true. I'm out here in Commie, California. So this hasn't hit me yet. But when this gets here and I take out my camera, is that going to be me? I mean, 37 years old. I'm not 37. I'm a little bit older, but it's like, waiting for Americans to grow a spine when they have been fed nothing. It's a whole generation of kids, right? These Gen Zers, they're finally dropping off of Trump. They're like, oh, this isn't what we voted for. And I get it. I voted for Ralph Nader. But guess what? My vote for Ralph Nader led to George Bush. And that led to us intervening in other countries like this. Now their vote, they're getting to see it at home. Pay your student loans while we are executing people in the street. This is absolute insanity. It can't last. You think 3 years of this can last? Huh? You want 3 years of this building a bunker under the White House? 3 years. This isn't going to last 3 more weeks. And then this guy right here, right?
The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law
enforcement. Sure,
enforcement.
he had a camera. Here, I have the picture of him with a camera, maximum damage. And it looks like the gun they're using was posted 5 days ago by them. So they're planting evidence now. You know what I mean? And the chuds, don't step on snake, will be out there telling you it's fine. Here's the picture of him, the still frame. And I just showed you the video, which you've all seen 100 times. He's got a camera. When they say he's shooting a camera. You know? How much more can this pussy-ass American populace take of this? The French would have had the guillotines out by now. But we're just sitting here. They're sitting here literally online making excuses. Like, oh, just comply. Just comply. U.S. citizen, open carry state. Don't step on snake. Just comply. Let's see what Walz says. I don't know why Walz stepped down, honestly, because Nick Shirley, you know, the most mildly R-worded person I've ever seen. This is all because Nick Shirley. Here, you want a timeline real fast? How many people we got here? We got 75 people. That's fine. I didn't tell anyone I was going live because guess what? I didn't know this was going to happen. But I guess going forward,
we will not be.
I should just assume that every day this will happen now. Every day this will happen until we do something about it. Nick Shirley, they pushed that video on the day that the next Epstein dump came on. It was a tiny dump. You know, it was a Melania-sized dump. But they pushed that video on the same day to cover it up. And now they're going on with this to test it out for next year. And the thing is, like I'm telling you, while I'm thinking of it, we all go to work Monday through Friday. We pretend this doesn't happen. They did a general strike. What was it, like 15,000 people? Some crazy number didn't go to work on Friday in Minneapolis. Well, guess what? I'm in California. Guess what? New York. If you took just the people on the left in those two states and we went on a general strike for a day, 2 days, half a week, that would grind the stock market to a halt. The stock market would crash, and then we'd have a bargaining chip to not just get rid of Dumpy, because spoiler alert, Dumpy's got about 3 or 4 months left total, but to get rid of the entire administration. And we should use that bargaining chip. They should be able to use our work. A general strike we don't even need, Mississippi. California and New York would crash the stock market. Let's see what Walz has to say.
Don Walz, what we've already seen, and you saw it this morning, before any investigation is done, you have the most powerful people in the federal government spinning stories and putting up pictures and unrelated people who we don't know anything about, and a picture of a firearm, to try and spin a narrative. And I ask Americans, this will end when enough Americans say this will end. Do I have any confidence Donald Trump will do the right thing? No, I don't have a lot of confidence Donald Trump will do the right thing. I do have a lot of confidence that the majority of the American people will do the right thing. And I think there cannot be very many people across this country looking right now, after all the reporting that's been done, after everything that's been said, under the pretense that they are here about immigration reform, and quit referring to these people as law enforcement. They are not law enforcement. We have law enforcement who do an incredible job. And to listen to Greg Bovino denigrate the work of our people who are out there cleaning up their mess, no, I don't have a lot of confidence that he himself will do it.
There should be no confidence. And as mad as you may be right now, I'm going to get to the comments in a minute. I just have to get this out of me. As mad as you are about this right now, I'll tell you, you are not mad enough, okay? These are the seeds of fascism. These are the seeds that, I told you on here whatever ago, and even before the podcast when I was out there campaigning, when I was running campaigns, when I was helping candidates, the Republicans never really believed in, states' rights, stocking up their arms. They were stocking up their arms to go with this, right? This is what they were waiting for. So you can't look to them. You cannot look to any Republican. At this point, 10 years down the road, public executions in the street, Epstein files all over the place. There's no reason you should trust any Republican again for the rest of your life if they still identify with this. If they identified with this 5 years ago. You know what I mean? You should not. It's up to us. It's up to us. What's up, everybody? I'm sorry I only get on when stuff's terrible. One day, we're going to have, and you all know what that episode will be. It will be a happy episode. We will all be happy, and we will all be celebrating. And I think we all know what that is. But this is a friendly YouTube channel, so I'm not going to say what that is. What's up, Philosophy of Science? How you doing? Ice, ice, babies. Yeah, I don't know if that's, I hope that's not a, they kidnapped that kid. What was he, like 4 or 5 years old, sitting out in the snow freezing? And then every one of their bots went into the comments to be like, actually, his dad ran away and abandoned him. Actually, this has nothing to do with the Gestapo in the streets. This is all the guy who ran away. You know what I mean? These people, I don't know. Where's he at in California? Don't tread on me, crowd. They, they've never been genuine. Is that the opposite of disingenuous? They've never been genuine in their actual support of what that flag means. I mean, these are the people, don't step on snake, right? Taxation without representation. And then they're like, oh, California shouldn't get anything. We shouldn't help California at all, even though we pay more into the federal government. You should never take these people at their word. My presence is comforting. It doesn't feel comforting today. I'll tell you that much. It does not feel comforting today. Oh my God. Look at that. There you go. Clearly, it's his phone, right? And we watched the video. You guys have all seen the video at the top of it. He's down on his knees. So when they were saying he was shooting, they're talking with his phone. You know what I mean? Oh, and then we got the bulwark, old Sarah Longwell. In the old days, she would have ran a Republican poll to see how they could spin this. But I guess, we're so far to the right that now we even have the Sarah Longwells of the group.
Security. That
37 years old. Here, let's listen to it. I don't think I've heard the whole thing yet. The worst thing he had was a speeding ticket. Because this is the thing they do, right? Anytime they attack somebody by the state. All right, 2 points I'm going to make, then we're going to watch it. First off, they conflate this with like, well, you did this to Charlie Kirk and you weren't this mad. I didn't do that to Charlie Kirk, a kid with a Republican parent from Utah, where I grew up, who was radicalized since he was 8 years old with guns. I think maybe even younger than that. I think they put a gun on him when he was a baby. Grew up in gun culture, grew up in radical politics culture. He did it. So why would I be mad at that? You know what I mean? Who do I go after? They caught the guy. Presumably, Erica might have been involved, but they caught the guy, presumably. The kid that shot at Trump, raised by Republican parents, brought up in a gun culture, brought up in a radical political culture, took a shot at him. What do you want me to do about that? Who am I supposed to be mad at? This is the state, all right? This is 7 Democrats siding with Republicans to give them $75 billion. How's your health care? You gotta pay your student loan? How's the price of food right now? But they give ICE, a private army, who's only beholden, as we're seeing, to one person. That's called the Gestapo. 7 Democrats decided to give him $75 billion for this, for exactly this. So when they ask me, why weren't you so mad about Charlie Kirk? Because that wasn't the state. Do you not understand? I just wish that we could teach critical thinking earlier on, like 4th grade. Why weren't you mad? I was mad at the political party that trained them to do that. Second thing, as soon as this happens, they go out after him. If this ever happens to me, your boy, they're going to try to find anything on me. And I do have a speeding ticket currently. So like, he sped. He was a criminal. But it was a speed trap. And that's not part of this, what I'm talking about right now. But they go back and they try to find everything about you. For that good lady, they were like, well, she was a lesbian. As if that means anything. So this playbook is so obvious. This playbook is so obvious unless you've been in a cult for 10 years. Unless you've been in a cult for longer than that, you know, this right-wing psychos. So it's obvious to anybody the difference. But let's hear about this person, who he was.
Okay, but Brendan, I'm just getting something handed to me, and the statement is from the Department of Homeland Security that it will investigate the fatal shooting of a 37-year-old protester in Minneapolis by its officers rather than the FBI.
Oh, that's comforting. The FBI agent investigating Good was fired. So it's just comforting that it's up to Kristi Noem, the puppy killer, to, she's on it. I wonder, does anyone want to take any bets how the outcome of this investigation will go? I'll give you 1 to 2 billion odds. That nothing comes of it. 1 to 2 billion. Any gamblers out there? You got to take that. I'll owe you $2 billion.
Two sources are telling that to MS Now. So they're going to be investigating that which they've already issued a summary about that happened. Earlier we got,
It's crazy. What is this? Sarah Longhill today just giving me stuff? Save this post. It's evidence our government is lying to you. Yeah, see? They posted the same gun that they said he had on him. They posted it earlier, 5 days ago. Here, I got it, Sarah Longwell. You don't even have to do one of your Republican polls on it. You know what I mean? It was posted on Reddit. Yeah, let me shrink the picture. 5 days ago. And then they posted it 8 hours ago, the same one. At some point, this country has to fight back. They have to realize what's going on. And I'm sorry, it's good. It's good these bulwark Republicans are over here. But they help lay the groundwork for this. But that's a time for another story. There's no, I think I'm saying the wrong saying. There's no atheist in a foxhole, but that's not what I'm trying to say. There's no enemies in a, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. This little guy, you guys all see one battle after another. He is the character. Oh, he attempted to disarm him, but they violently, 9 officers jumping on him. Let's listen to it. Let's be fed.
During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
He did not. He approached them with a phone.
The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted.
Oh, my God.
Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene.
Cucked out, right?
During this operation...
Imagine how cucked out you have to be to just not believe your own eyes anymore. You know what I mean? A violent individual who approached them. Here, I'll lower that with the whistles. A violent individual who approached them with a 9mm gun that was posted to the internet is found 5 days ago. Just think about what a cuck you are. You know? They don't want... This is the part that... So in the old days, I think they used to say this to you. There he is, right? He's got a phone. There's his phone. You see it? Does that look like a 9mm to you? That's a phone. Okay? That is a phone. There's a close-up of it. That's how he approached them. The head of DHS, George Bush's department he created, or the head of whatever ICE is, whatever this little man is, says he approached them with a 9mm gun. These are your eyes. If there's a chud in here, hold on. If there's a chud in here that somehow wandered in, like in your brain, does it just AI a gun in there for you? Does it just change so you see exactly what they're telling you? Like, I'm honestly curious because it's right there. Here they come. No filming us in America, right? Push that guy, push that lady down. He stands up for a lady, pepper sprayed in the face. Oh, that's not enough though, right? That's not enough. We got to get him down on the ground. He's trying to help someone out. He's a nurse. traffic ticket is his worst thing he's ever done. And trigger warning, you know, if you haven't seen this, he gets executed by this guy right here. So trigger warning. Look, you see any gun? He's down on his knees, and that guy goes for it. Don't believe your eyes. Please. Give me one Trump supporter in these comments. Give me one person that supports this, and just tell me what you see in your mind when he's holding a phone. Does your mind actually change the phone? Saturday. You know what I mean? I slept in and I wake up. I only get on here when it's bad. I'm sorry. Let's see how the comments doing. I want everyone to know across the world that not all Americans are like this. That is very true. But enough of us are. I get what you're saying, Florida man, and I hear the sentiment. He said, I want everyone to know across the world that all Americans are not like this. We're trying our best to clean it up. But you have to understand enough of us are like this, okay? 30% are like this. They want this. They want fascism here. You have to understand that. We can't keep pretending. This was the problem with Reconstruction, right? Lincoln was dead. They pretended it was going to be fine to just stop it instead of punishing the South, which we needed to do. Punishing every single person involved. Yeah, some of us may be better than this. But after old Dumpy, exits the world and J.D. Vance, I guess, steps up with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk rigging elections behind him. If we are ever able to, huge if, because I don't think there's ever going to be a free election ever again until something major happens. But if we are able to ever get power and we get some vanilla stuff like Biden putting Merrick Garland. Here, take 4 years, Merrick Garland. If we get that again, then no, we're not better. Us putting those people in aren't better than the 30% that believe this is okay. Every single one of these people need to be held accountable. From Trump's kids all the way to Elon Musk, to your Peter Thiels, to your J.D. Vances, to everyone that's let this happen. Otherwise, no, we're not better. And, we're like going to Europe this summer again, the Mediterranean, my favorite place. And I got to pretend I'm Canadian. Because last time we were in, France, I pretended I was Canadian. So no, it's nice that you're a good person and you believe this, but this country is rotten. And it's rotten because we've never dealt with what makes up. This was a country found on genocide and slavery. It was a long time ago. I don't think you should be blamed for it. I don't think white people should still be blamed for it. But it was founded on that. And the one time we had to punish the people that tried to overthrow it, the Confederates, we stopped halfway through. We let them run, 2 years later, instead of following through and really showing. I mean, the French people hate me because I'm loud, I'm boisterous, but at least the French people pulled out guillotines and they showed them what happens when you do this to the people. Low class, middle class, upper middle class. When you mess with them, they'll show you what happens. Nothing's going to come of this. Even if a Democrat gets in there, they'll be like, that's the past. They'll come up with some slogan, moving forward, right? Tuck it all away. All these people that made their billions ran away. Nothing will come of it. And we'll be left with a mess. I'm not even saying that's just wishful thinking. I know you're not pretending. I didn't mean to call you out. And yes, we need people like your grandfather, our great-grandfathers back, because they fought this and they understood why they were fighting it. I've talked on this channel before. I got kicked out on New Year's Eve by a friend of mine at 2 a.m. in the rain because he said, maybe Hitler wasn't that bad. Hitler was more like Bernie Sanders. He said this to me. It was 2 a.m. on New Year's. Of course, I was a little drunk. So I did exactly what our great-grandfathers would have done. I called him a pussy and an idiot, and he kicked me out of his house. He threw a tantrum, a 58-year-old man. It was something to see. So I agree with you, Florida man. I'm glad you're here. My wife is black. She said none of this seems much worse than the rest. I get you. You're right. For me to come out here and be like, the social contract is broke, right? It's very privileged of me. It's very privileged. But if I don't use my white privilege, what good is it for, right? So yes, it's always been this way for certain groups of people. And maybe it's not fair that I jump on here and do this, but what's that? We got to change that atheist saying, no atheist in a foxhole. It's got to be something more like, no enemies in a foxhole or something. I don't know. I was sleeping in. I have Japanese internment camps. You're right. I'm not. Yes, this symptom has been with us for a long time. And you know, whatever the fourth turning will be in this country, I hope we come out what we've said and what we've promised to be. But as long as these people are in charge, as long as 7 Democrats are willing to give these people $75 billion, I just don't see it happening. Let's see what else has come out. Oh, here we go. Yes, I am a fan of irony.
There's a very famous quote that says, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it."
What did I just say?
Some would look at what's happening here in America today and they would call the times unprecedented. They would say unforeseen. I would say the exact opposite. It all sounds and it all looks and feels tragically familiar.
Hold on a second. Is Kristi Noem, did she just summarize what I just said in 2023? I think she just did a TLDR on me.
We have been here before. A country that's arguing over policies, a public that's discouraged and dismayed by the lack of public discourse, violence in our streets and in our schools, families grieving their children, and loved ones that were destroyed by a deranged maniac for no apparent reason, and a White House that is so hell-bent on grabbing power and control of your life, they will do anything
is going
and
on?
not stop at absolutely nothing to take it away. They will even take away your last tool of defense. The Second Amendment is about deterrence. It's about ensuring the government respects the rights and the liberty of citizens. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of a people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Wow. Look at that. I guarantee you, Tubby there and his, oh man, look at this. Look at these people, huh? Hey, can I say something? Not really, right? But, there's something, what do they always say? Conservative women. Why are conservative women so hot? You know what I mean? I guarantee this guy right now is posting online. Shoulda complied. Shoulda listened. 100% chance. You know what I mean? Jesus. What a beautiful family. Yes, I understand, Florida man, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you talking in here and stuff. I know. I can stream on the weekend. I just feel like I'm better when I don't stream and when I give you guys, because I always get on here when bad things are happening. So I appreciate you all jumping on with no warning of what's going on. But man, Kristi Noem just said what I just said in the span of 3 years. And this is where I break from the Democratic Party. Because, you know, I grew up in a hick town with coal miners, hunting. I had guns. I have guns. And thank God they weren't able to get them away from us. I know it's controversial, but... And I know a gun can't do anything against a drone. But at least they didn't get them away. Look at this. This looks like Iran, huh? This guy's good. I think he's going to run for president one day. I mean, if we have, like I said, I'm assuming a lot of the world is still going to be around in the future. Ugh. When I visit Minnesota, what the ICE agents want more than anything was to work with local law enforcement. They won't even let them investigate it. They're knocking them down. There was a story If someone's got it, they can post in the chat. I'll bring it up. But there was a female officer. What they keep doing, what ICE keeps doing, is assaulting officers. They don't know they're cops, and they shove them down. They take their stuff. And then, like, the cop had to come out, the chief of police, and be like, ICE is just being the Gestapo against us. What is this? That's not even the same gun at all. Oh my God, they planted it. Oh my God, they planted it. They planted a gun. And I'm sure it'll come up in their investigation when they're going through it, right? Yeah, you better be. Let's see what Walz has to say. I still don't know why he quit. Also, why is the Bulwark logo on MS Now? Like, this isn't a transformative clip. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Despite the horrific acts by this federal government, Minnesotans are standing up for the rule of law. They're protesting loudly and urgently, but peacefully. It must stay that way, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesotans are witnessing, and we're creating a log of evidence for the future prosecution of ICE agents and officials responsible for this.
I mean,
they're helping their neighbors. They're walking their kids to school. They're feeding families. I salute their courage and their restraint, and I call on all Americans to see the decency that this state is exhibiting and the horrific cruelty, unprofessional.
Agreed. But I've already seen them posting in defense of this, you know. You're patriots. Don't step on snake patriots. They're already out there. Just posting that you should comply. You should comply. Do you ever feel like they just quit? They didn't teach history to some people? Like, they taught us all this stuff. And when we were kids, we were like, hey, how could this happen? How did they get to a point where this could happen? I always thought it was kind of like fake, you know? Like Indiana Jones and stuff, right? Felt like fiction, that a whole country could be swapped up and believe lies. But the truth is, it was never the whole country. It was 30% in Germany. It's 30% here. And they'll tell you with their own eyes. I think I replied. The top comment on that. Let's see what we got. The top comment on that video where you can see with your eyes is either a butt, yes, a butt, is either a butt or a chud, a bot or a chud replying to it. I can't tell the difference anymore. I mean, who could, right? He ceased to be an observer when he pulled a firearm. He did not pull a firearm. We've all seen the video. This video that they're commenting on literally shows it. That's why I'm so curious. I mean, if there's any psychologists in here, you know, what do they see when they see a thing? No, you could get in a cop's face if he pushes you. You saw him come over to him and get in his face. The cop got in his face, Jesus. All these people, you know, all these fascists have Jesus in their thing. Christian, father, patriot, supporter of public executions, U.S. Marine Corps. I doubt it. Bought. You know what I mean? Yeah, you better. I never thought Donald Trump and Stephen Miller be the ones to finally force me into being a defender of the Second Amendment. And this has been a stickler point. When you used to be able to have conversations with like chuds or whatever. No, not chuds, before chuds, Republicans. This is one I always agreed on because, like I said, I have guns. Why would you trust anybody in this? Yeah, if we lived in a utopia where nobody had guns, that would be fine. If we lived in a utopia where they're not wandering the street, shooting nurses with traffic tickets, shooting a woman trying to do a 3-point turn, fine. But I've bought more guns in the past 10 years than I ever did in Utah. You know what I mean? That's him right there, huh? A nurse. Wow. Yeah, and you know, you guys can say it. It might be true. Yeah, they shot a white guy, so now I'm saying the social contract's done. Maybe. But we're all in this together. Anyway, I don't know. Sorry. I kind of covered it in that last video. It's hard because what this started out as was kind of a parody, to parody the government, right? During the first Trump administration, with Chad the Chud and everything else. And it kind of evolved into something better. Obviously, Chad, nobody liked him. If you were one of the first 1,000 people on this channel, I was Chad too long. But it evolved into something else. But when I sit down to make an episode, like I read this episode about Elon, right? He took all of our data and now he wants voter ID because he wants to cancel he wants you to show up the day of and be like, oh, actually your voter ID expired, 2 days ago and you didn't renew it, so you can't vote. Because he has all of our things. Trump even admitted it. So that's the episode I'm working on. I'm trying to do that to show you what's going on there. The Epstein stuff is still being withheld, being hidden. But then on a daily basis, and of course this is what they want. I get it. I know what fascism is. I went to school for this stuff. I know what it is. But on a daily basis, they're just shooting people in the street. I don't know, guys. General strike, New York and California. Shut down the stock market until they leave. We might need better vetting for guns in this country, yeah. But anytime they ask for that, it was either all or nothing with Republicans, right? You wanted better vetting. Like if you beat your wife, like if you're Dana White and you're out beating your wife, you can't go get a gun. And that makes sense. But they're like, either we have everything or we have nothing. And it's the childlike mentality of the same people that are saying, we see a gun when it's obviously a phone. This country is so divided. It is so divided. It's that scene in Civil War, right? Where ugly Matt Damon, Ozempic Matt Damon, Spider-Man's girlfriend's husband. I always forget his name because he's a great actor, but I always call him ugly Matt Damon. But he's got the gun. And he says, like, what kind of American are you? Civil War is a great movie. And it really is that. It's coming down to these people saying, what kind of American are you? What America's supposed to be, what we said it would be, what our great-grandfathers fought for it to be. It's gone, right? And there's going to be an opportunity to reshape it after the fourth turning happens or whatever you want to call it, but the big event that will happen undeniably. And there's going to be a way to reshape it. And there's going to be a fight for that. And these billionaires, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, they got J.D. Vance in there. They're all preparing themselves to shape it the way they want, which is a neo-feudalistic society, right? You own nothing. In fact, they might even, that's not what this episode's about, but they might even be trying to crash the dollar a little bit so they can buy everything cheap while we're too poor and then rent it back to you. But this is all leading somewhere. You know what I mean? This isn't just going to go away. This isn't electing Obama after Bush. It's not going to look like that. And a lot of people like me, probably a lot of you, are going to need some resolution on this. You're taking away years of our life with this stuff. You're taking away actual people's lives with this stuff. So you can't just move on. I will never move on from this until we get some justice. Anyway, sorry. I'm ranting because I don't know what else to do. I'm not going to fly out there and hang out. I'll just get in the way. I'll take away from the people there fighting for their home. I'm just a guy sitting out here in Southern California waiting for it to come here to happen. Seeing that they're now shooting people with cameras. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people had their guns destroyed. Raj says after Sandy Hook, despicable response by the NRA, he had his guns destroyed. Yeah, I mean, there was a time when we thought we were turning a corner. I really thought we were turning a corner as a society. The lowest violence ever came after like Bill Clinton and ever in the history of the world, right? And then, I don't know. September 11th really had a radicalizing effect on a big portion. You saw people just willing to give everything because they were so scared. Spy on us. Take our kids to your war in Iraq. You know what I mean? It's gotten to the point where the senile old man in there now stumbles up on stage and he says we're going to Iceland. Like he doesn't even know, what he can't even on the world stage, he can't even articulate the country we're going to. And people are like, wow, this is crazy. It's just a less inarticulate version of the neocon I've known my whole life. Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia attack us. Let's go attack Iraq. They just didn't have a demented old man being shot up with whatever. It's not a good live. I don't have a lot of stuff prepared. Just mad. Just mad, man. And then this guy, this is where we're at. I'm gonna have to kill him. Done nothing. How long could this go on for? The guy wasn't 51 years old, right? I guess they reported it wrong. That's exactly it. I've actually been watching this Kyle a little bit. I don't like watching other shows too much because I don't want to. I rather much just read and deliver to you in my style. I don't want to ever take anything to like copy on accident subversively anybody else. But I've been watching him lately. He's pretty good. I started following him. I only get on Twitter to see the clips because, everything else. Threads, what am I going to see on Threads? Threads has been, Dana White said, so I have the people I follow on Twitter to kind of get stuff. But this is just, I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm just rambling now. Let's see what you guys have to say. I'm not losing my mind, all right? I know exactly what this is. Here's the worst part. You don't get credit if you just now know what this is. We've been here, right? Some of you have been with this channel since it was nothing, since it was Chad. We've been here 6 years. I've been doing politics for 30 years. So on top of all that, ever since really Bush, but probably Reagan, I was just too young to really push it. But ever since Reagan, we've been on a track. And we've been telling everybody this track. And they said, you're hysterical. Fascism? Why are you calling us fascists? Not everybody you disagree with is a Nazi. Not everybody. Yeah, but you are. You know what I mean? And they kept doing that over and over while we were trying to warn them what would happen. You don't get credit for pointing at the burned down house and saying, oh, that house is burned down. The soft bigotry of lower expectations. You know what I mean? Good job. You noticed the house was burned down. You get credit for removing all the gas, all the bombs, all the flammable stuff inside the house before it blows up. And that's what we've been trying to do. That's what people on this channel have been trying to do. That's what I've been trying to do. Not so much me. I'm more snarky about it. You know what I mean? I'm not really the best to like reach out. But you don't get credit afterwards. Yes, we're here. And a lot of us like me, I thought once we got here, you would have a wake-up call. Planting evidence, right? You would have a wake-up call. But ironic is used too much. I get it. I'm glad you said that's ironic, but that's not ironic. She's just pointing out what she used to believe when they weren't in power. And then it changes. That's not irony. That's planned propaganda. We'll be billing the federal government for the National Guard. Good job.
Yeah. I would note on this one, too, that we'll be billing the federal government for the cost of the National Guard. He shouldn't have retired,
man. He shouldn't have given in to Nick Shirley. I just can't believe this. I made a comment about Nick Shirley, and one of these people at Disney, she said punching down is one of the tenets of fascism. Because I said he was mentally unwell. And it just makes me realize also on this chronically online left who grew up in Beverly Hills and grew up in these families, limousine liberals, how unready they are for like what's coming down the pike. Like I grew up with these people, right? Price, Utah, go look at it. It's all chuds. It's all these radical chuds, right? They all think that they all think they're Rambo out in the desert. I grew up with them. I know what they're capable of, and I also know what they're not capable of. And they're not capable of critical thinking, but they are capable of taking on jobs that let them be violent, let them have control over people that they perceive to be, smarter than them. So I know what's coming. And honestly, I haven't done my part to warn you guys enough. That's not what my channel is. I try to make it light for you guys, but also for me. So I'm not walking around with it all day. So I try to write out my thoughts, articulate them, try to put a joke here and there, just so I'm not walking around. It's very selfish what I do. And I'm glad it helps all of you too. But I need you guys just as much as you need me. You know what I mean? Like and subscribe, become a member. But anyway, we'll see where this goes. I don't know. I have a whole Elon episode I was going to put up on Sunday, but maybe no one has an appetite for the voter suppression that's coming. So ICE's top corporate collaborators, I'm guessing they use this to communicate. What are they doing at Target besides, I guess they stormed Target. They picked up a kid, beat him up in their car, a 17-year-old kid, and then just dumped him out. I saw that video too. I need a producer to look up my videos. Hey, you want me to get a producer? Become a member. Let's get this channel. This channel needs to be bigger anyway. It's kind of ridiculous. This algorithm squashes your boy. Let's see what this lady has to say.
We are heartbroken and angry, and we can't sit anywhere but here because we have to stand up for everyone, including ourselves, by being here. It just feels like they're murdering the most peaceful people we have, the people who are out on the street, young, and trying to protect other people, and they come in and murder them, and that feels terrifying.
They're setting a tone.
And it feels like the only hope we have is to show up here.
They're setting a tone. They want you to know that nobody's safe, whether you're a white woman or whether you're a white guy like me, 37 years old. They want you to know that you're not safe here. Yeah, good job, Rick Wilson. We all see that I gotta quit this, guys. I get too hard on these old Republican guys. It's fine. I gotta quit it. They're on our side now for now. I know as soon as we get back to any kind of stability, if it happens, the neocons will flip. But I'm too much on it. I talk too much about the bulwark and everything else. Jeez. Dystopian, eh? Anybody else out there, were any of you the class of 2000? God, I'm going to age myself. But I guess it's out now. I was the class of 2000, right? And I think this is why I had this... We're kind of a different type. We're elder millennials, they call us. I don't know. But there was an idea during Bush. I think it made a lot of us from that generation very skeptical of all of this, right? Of Republicans coming in and taking over, creating the Department of Homeland Security. And there was a big letdown from how centrist Obama actually was. I know he had to be centrist because he's the first black president. I get it. But I think that's why that one battle after another, because it's about Obama, right? Spell out the title of it. One battle after another. OBA, and then A, right? It spells out Obama. Because that was about people, PT's older than me, but people in our generation that were kind of disillusioned by that. Think about that. In the first of the movie, he falls in love, and they say, "Why are you doing this?" He's like, "Because I love black girls," right? And he was in love with the girl. And in the end, she sold out the movement. She sold out the movement and joined the government. You know what I mean? A lot of people like Ben Shapiro was like, "This is the worst movie ever." The movie's satire. Obviously, it's satire. She gives it. What am I doing? A movie review now? I'm just trying to say that movie touched with me so much because I think I relate to that message where we were so engaged and we were so activated and we were so ready to push this new era through. And when Obama kind of just gave up and threw up his hands halfway through, a lot of us were disillusioned. And some of the dumber ones, for lack of a better word, just went over and became chuds, right? They became MAGA. People can't understand. How could you vote for Obama and then vote for Trump? Well, it's populism, right? It's a populist movement. And I just feel like this stuff is reactivating me in a way, but I want to be more helpful, I guess. I don't know if always, I'm not that. You guys like the show, right? I'm entertaining sometimes, hopefully, to some of you. But I feel like I'm not that helpful. I'm more kind of snarky, right? Like I said, to deal with it. So maybe going forward, I'll try to apply my political science more and less of my snark and be more helpful. Anyway, what am I doing? I'm just ranting here on you people. I'm sorry. Let me see what you guys have to say, and then we'll wrap this up. Can you talk about the jury nullification and the general strike more? Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, man, you set up a general strike. You just, maybe even just California, but of course you get New York involved. You take just people on the left in both those states. General strike, no work. The stock market, the first day, will crash. And then if you keep it going through the whole week, right? You know what I mean? And if they want, what are they going to do? Send federal troops in to make us all go to our work? I mean, that would be a good, that'd be a good wake-up call to a lot of people, to the neo-feudalism I'm talking about. But no, then you have a bargaining chip. And then you say, get ICE out, get Trump out. If the stock market's really crashing, get Vance out, get Mike Johnson out so he can't assume president. Let him have whatever is faced in the Senate. Be the president as a compromise. I know he's a Republican. I know it sucks. But at least you get the three, Christo-fascists out. Because Project 2025 is 75% done now, I think. So they've gotten what they wanted. They love this. This is all covered. All this crazy stuff, it's just icing on the cake because no one's paying attention to anything. No one, It's a bank robbery. It's a bank robbery where they set a building on fire across town. So all the cops went across town. They called in bomb threats across town, set a fire, everything. So every cop drove over there. And they're just robbing the bank. They're robbing your future. They're robbing my future. They're robbing all of our futures. And you think that this would be an issue that would unite the populace and everybody would come together, but I don't know how much more it can get, bro. He might not even realize, but he's pushing the country to have more audacity to not vote for him. I don't think he cares about voting. Nobody, this is not how you act when you think there's going to be another election. I know he keeps joking, I'm going to run again. Like I said, spoiler alert, that dude's not making it till 2028. What they're trying to do is fix the elections, fix the whole system. Voter ID while we have all your information. We'll figure out who you ever gave money to as a candidate, right? And then mysteriously, the day before the election, your voter ID will expire. A glitch in the system. Sorry, it's just how it goes. They're setting it up because J.D. Vance can't win on his own. He's got the personality of like a houseplant, a dead houseplant. You know what I mean? So they're planning way beyond this guy. And they're building bunkers. I was right about that. I was the first person in that episode to say it, right? When he walked over the window, he turned around and said, we're putting in drone-proof ceilings. We're putting in, missile-proof glass. That's a bunker. That's where he says they're going to have their inauguration. That's where Saddam Hussein had his inaugurations, right? Inside of a bunker. So yeah, man, I don't know. Whoa, thank you for the $50. I think that might be the biggest single one ever. Thanks, bud. I appreciate, more than that though, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you commenting on it. You better take care of your wife. Anything I can do to help, you guys let me know, because I don't know. I know, I'm just at a loss lately, I hope too much of this wasn't ranting. But I appreciate it, ZTK RC. I'll send out the members my email, so you guys can email me directly anything that you want to talk about. one of these dudes been talking to who's been with me since the start. So I appreciate all of you, and I love all your comments. I guess that's all I got. So hopefully it wasn't too much just ranting. Thanks, man. I've got the coffee right here. My wife made it. I got to buy some more equipment to keep us going. My monitor from like 10 years ago blew up, so that'll help. Let me justify keeping this going. Look out for more VOD content that I'm going to throw up. And thank you guys. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the $2. I appreciate it, guys. I don't know. Like I said, the day we have a good live for me, when I jump on here with good news, hopefully I can give you all money too. And we can all just be happy about it. It's so grim when I get on here. But take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. And if you're around this right now, I know, we talk about fighting back. We talk about getting in there, but please don't mess with it right now. Be there, blow the whistles, yell at them from afar. But man, guys, stay safe. Like, I don't need any of you being on this video. So hopefully something happens. Whatever happens, I'll be here. I'll make that promise to you like I always do before I almost wrap up. I'll try to do more lives. It's probably not a real promise, but I'll tell it to you anyway. And thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for the $50. Thank you for the $2. But most of all, thank you for being here to help keep me sane. You know what I mean? This is better than any therapist I could ever get. It's just having you guys here. So I appreciate you all being here. Whether you've been here from the start, whether you just joined today. This is the Chud Report. And I love you all. So it is lambs. I guess we'll end on that comment. Lambs being led to slaughter in the street. Yeah. Very biblical. Please take care of yourself. Thank you for being here. Oh, thank you for joining. Becoming a member. Appreciate it. It's like 3. I see you highlighted when I'm live. So it's one of the benefits. But all right, guys. I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to go do. I guess just sit and stare off into space for a while. I'll be back. I'll try to get a VOD up tomorrow. If not, it'll be Tuesday. Yeah, man, thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. I'll send out some member stuff so you guys can contact me.